Hello, and thank you for joining me today to discuss our cyber threat intelligence plan. Let's talk a little bit about intelligence and cyber threat intelligence. What is intelligence? Intelligence has various definitions, but fundamentally, its purpose is to provide actionable information to decision makers. This is also known as decision advantage. The graphic here shows the general intelligence lifecycle. It consists of 5 phases: planning, collection, processing, analysis and production, and finally dissemination and feedback. Cyber threat intelligence, or CTI, is a fairly new discipline in the information security industry. You will see different definitions of it on the web. However, I think that this definition from the cybersecurity company Forcepoint is a good summary of what CTI is. Let's review Intuit's ecosystem, business risks, and the adversaries that we must defend against. Intuit has over 50 million customers that we must protect. Our products are becoming more integrated with each other, third-party services as well as industry partners. This increases our attack surface, all while our adversaries are evolving their tactics, techniques, and processes. Cyber threat intel is essential to stay ahead of our adversaries. Here we can see the types of cyber adversaries, the tactics they use, and motives. Cyber criminals can generally be categorized in one of these 5 categories, with ransom and insider threat being the 2 biggest motives for cyber attacks. Another key takeaway is that malware, ransomware, and encrypted cyber attacks have increased quite a bit in the last year. Another risk to our ecosystem is stolen identity refund fraud, also known as SIRF. This was a big problem for us in 2015, as you recall. We have implemented many new security and anti-fraud controls since then to counter these threats. However, due to the prevalence of PII data on the dark web, it still remains a risk. Cyber threat intelligence can help with our anti-fraud capabilities in this problem space. Here is another type of attack that we've experienced in the last couple of months, called credential stuffing, which can lead to account takeover. This attack is popular by adversaries because of the large amount of people who use weak passwords and reuse these passwords across multiple sites. Even though this recent attack was not a breach of Intuit or our systems, it is still a threat we must manage. When it comes to cyber threat intel, there are numerous commercial and open source options. To give you an idea of what information is available about Intuit from a free product, here is a report showing the top threat indicators for the search term Intuit. This is provided by ThreatConnect's free service. As you can see, there are numerous fake domains and URLs that attackers use, which to the untrained eye may look like legitimate Intuit sites, but they are used for phishing campaigns and malware delivery. Looking forward to 2019 and 2020, adversaries will be leveraging the same advancements in technology as we are. This includes the weaponizing of machine learning and artificial intelligence for things such as automated malware development and ML model tainting. Other attacker capabilities include cryptojacking, advanced malware, which can evade endpoint security controls, and continued threats from ransomware. Let's look at a specific type of attack that attempts to use the Intuit name to build trust with its victims, called TrickBit. This phishing and malware attack involves using fake email invoices with spoofed addresses and domains in order to make the victim open an infected Excel spreadsheet. Then a banking Trojan is installed on their computer. This report is provided by ThreatConnect. Based on research and analysis of the cyber risks to Intuit, we have some initial observations and high-level recommendations. The first is that as an ecosystem company, Intuit will need to prioritize third-party security. Second, we must increase our investments in cyber threat intel capabilities. Third, we must implement a defense-in-depth approach to our environments which is informed by CTI. Last, we must integrate CTI with our current and future tools. Now that we have some general context around cyber threats to our company, let's look at some more specific attack scenarios that could affect Intuit. The Uber data breach involved the theft of PII data for millions of people. It was caused in part by poor security practices around third-party providers and inadequate prevention and detection controls. This is a case where CTI could have helped the security team determine that adversaries were targeting GitHub code repositories. Based on the post-mortem analysis of this incident, here are the key takeaways around attack disruption and process improvements. If the GitHub users' accounts were protected with MFA, or even if the security logs were being properly analyzed for brute force attempts, this attack probably could have been stopped. Looking at the bigger picture, the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework should be used to build better security processes and controls. Okay, let's look at a second attack scenario. This is the DNS DDoS attack. This attack highlights the importance of core services redundancy and implementing controls to detect and mitigate malicious traffic. Since most of our flagship products are software as a service, web-based offerings, we must understand DDoS threats and how to ensure we minimize disruptions to avoid revenue loss. We have some more recommendations based on the learnings from this attack. A robust CTI platform with real-time integration could provide better warning of a pending DDoS attack such as this, and give our operations teams more time to prepare by switching traffic to different data centers, or other measures to reduce the impact. We must also leverage cloud-native services such as AWS Shield and CloudFront. In this next section, let's take a look at CTI benefits, and then review one of the leading products. Here are some of the primary benefits of CTI products. They provide contextual and timely information about threats to the business, data aggregation from numerous intel sources to better understand attack TTPs, APIs for integration and automation, and there are various types of products for all budgets and security program maturity levels. Our recommendation for a CTI product is Anomaly Threat Stream. This is a comprehensive threat intel platform which aggregates data from hundreds of sources. Its costs are reasonable and it meets our integration automation requirements. Another benefit of this product is that it is agentless, which is a big perk from an operations and maintenance perspective. The diagram highlights its components and third-party integrations. In order to implement a robust cyber threat intel plan, we will also need to invest in staffing resources. Our recommendation is laid out on this slide. You can see we are proposing a staff increase of 6-7 people over the next 6 months, but ideally sooner. The new staff will augment existing security development capabilities and add a new threat intel and hunting team. These staffing levels are comparable to industry peers based on benchmarking data. Okay, so we're wrapping up our discussion here today by summarizing things in a risk reduction plan. This plan is a bit of an eye chart, but we wanted to have a synopsis of the main cyber risks and recommendations. I won't go through each point, but the intent is to show that we have specific and actionable recommendations for the big risk areas: domain and email spoofing, phishing malware attacks, third-party credential compromise and data theft, and DDoS attacks on core services. The common thread here is that cyber threat intel is a capability we must invest in to stay ahead of our adversaries and protect our company. That completes my presentation. I want to thank you all for your time.